Namaste and good morning, everyone. Let's start our Thursday class with some prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bho Bhavaswaha, Tatsavitra Varenayam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Asto ma satgamya, tamso ma jyotirgamya, mrityorma amritam gamya. Om sehna bhavatu, sehna bhunaktu, saviryam karvavahi, tejasvi navaditamastu, ma vidvishavahi. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om. Let's do that Shanti mantra also, which is in the beginning of this book. Om Shannahu Mitraha Sham Varunaha Sham No Bhavatu Aryama Sham Naha Indro Braspati Sham No Vishnu Urukrama Namo Brahmane Namate Vayo Tvam Eva Pratyaksham Brahm Asi Tvam Eva Pratyaksham Brahm Vadishyami Ritam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, tatmam avatu, tatvaktaram avatu, avatu mam, avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti 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 Om. So today we are going to start a new section actually. Brahmavali. That is the name of this. And this section also starts with the prayers. The same kind of a prayer which I just did. But you will see that the tense of the verb used in this verse is a little different. Let's look at that. Sham noho mitraha, sham varunaha, sham naha bhavatu aryama, sham naha indra brihaspati, sham naha vishnu urukrama, namaha brahmane, namate vayo, tvam eva pratyaksham brahm asi, tvam eva pratyaksham brahm avadisham, ritam avadisham, satyam avadisham, tatmam avit, tatvaktaram avit, avit mam, avit vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So most of these words you are already familiar with, but still let me go through them. Sham, Sham means good. No means to us. Mitra, Mitra Devta. That is for sun. Sham Varunaha. Sham na bhavtu. Bhavtu means maybe. Aryama. Sham naha Indra Brihaspati. Sham na Vishnu Urukrama. Urukrama means all pervading. Namaha, salutations. Brahmane, unto the Brahman. Namate Vayu. Te means to you, Vayu, the air. Tvam means you, Eva alone, Pratyaksham, perceivable. Brahm, Asi. Asi means are. Tvam means you, Eva means alone, Pratyaksham, perceivable. Avadisham, I have declared. Ritam, Avadisham. Ritam means the right. Avadisham, I have declared. Satyam, the good. Avadisham, I have declared. Tat means that. Mame means Avit, has protected. See, this is the difference. Vaktaram, the teacher, Avit, has protected. Again, Avit, Mam, has protected me. Vaktaram, the teacher. So may the Mitra, the sun, be good to us. May Varun be good to us. May Aryama be good to us. May Indra and Brihaspati be good to us. These are the Devtas. We cannot live a life without these Devtas. Devta means who gives. That's a Devta. Giver is called a Devta. May the all-pervading Vishnu be good to us. Prostrations to the Brahma. Prostrations to you, O Vayu. You indeed are the visible Brahma. You, I have declared the good that has protected me, that has protected the teacher. Om, peace, peace, peace. So again, this is the same peace invocation, which every week we say. That was an opening of the chapter of the section 1. So the difference is in the tense of verbs used in the second half of this peace invocation. Because in the opening passage, the invocation expressed a humble submission to the Supreme. Okay, please, God, give me this. Please, God, give me that. Over here, it is the recipient feels the grace. That God, you have given it to me. So first we ask, in our prayers, we normally ask, do we ever say thank you also? Or do we just keep on asking, asking, and asking more? This is what we are learning from this beautiful mantra. Asking is okay, but thank also. Just like if our own children, they keep on asking us more and more and more. Never thank us. How do you feel? So this great Rishi is teaching the students that you have gotten so much. There should be a thankfulness in the prayer also. So the student and the teacher, they feel here that the study all through this chapter has been fruitful. And in this invocation, he is expressing his gratitude for the blessings received from the cosmic powers. Because those cosmic powers were invoked in the beginning of the lessons. Protect us, we feel protected. So we should thank God also for the protection which we have gotten. Okay, so now Brahmanandavali, chapter 2. Again, over here is a peace invocation. It's very important to memorize these peace invocations. Okay, so this one also we every day when we study, we sing this. Let's look at the meaning of this also. Om Sahno Avatu Sahno Bhunaktu Sahviryam Karvavehi Tejasvi now Adhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi. Om Shanti 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 Om. Sah means together, no means us, us means both. Avatu. Avatu means may he protect. Avatu. Say together, now us both Bhunaktu. Look after the fruits of the study. That's what Bhunaktu means. Enjoy. May he let us enjoy the fruits of the scriptural studies. Sah means together, Viryam, the effort or the enthusiasm. Karvavahi, exert together. So that means to find, because we need to exert. There's exertion at the physical level, but this is an exertion at the mental level, intellectual level, to find the true meaning of the sacred texts. Tejasvi, lustrous. Now both of us, adhitam, study. Astu, maybe. Ma means never. Vidvishavahe, quarrel, argue. Oh, may he protect us both, teacher and the taught. May he help us both to enjoy the fruits of the scriptural studies. May we both exert together to find the true meaning of the sacred texts. May our studies be fruitful. May we never quarrel with each other. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So last time I remember when we did this class, some people were lost. I hope you all are at the same page today. If you're not, anybody who is, just in the chat box, write down the page number, please. Because I could not find my book to tell you the page number. So this peace invocation is chanted both by the teacher and the taught every day. And that's why we sing that also every single day. We don't want to waste time into foolish arguments. Sure, conversation is good, dialogue is good, but argument is not. The success in understanding the Vedas and ultimately going or gaining the experience of this truth which we are trying to learn is dependent entirely upon the capacity to tune ourselves to the Guru. Unless we tune ourselves to the same frequency as the Guru, we cannot understand it. So that's why when we study these scriptures, try to tune yourself with the Rishi who is teaching us. See, just like I often tell you that when you study Bhagavad Gita, think that you are sitting at the feet of Lord Krishna or Rishi Vyasa. If you really want to understand the proper meaning written in those textbooks. So teacher over here is that Rishi who has written this. So we got to remember to tune up with that. Let's look at the very first verse of this section. Om Brahmavit apnoti param tat esha abhyuktaha satyam jnanam anantam brahma yaved nihitam guhayam parme vyoman sa ashnite sarvan kaman sah brahmanaha vipaschitaha iti. Om Brahmavit, the knower of Brahma. Apnoti, attains. Param, the supreme. Tat eshaha, with reference to that. Abhiyuktaha is recited. Satyam, the truth. Jnanam, the knowledge. Anantam, the infinity. Brahm. Ya means he who Ved knows. Nihitam, as existing. Guhayam, in the cave of the heart. Parme vyoman, vyoman means akash. Parme, in the transcendent. Sa means he. Ashnate, realize. Sarvan, all. Kaman, desires. Sah, along with. Brahmanaha, as Brahma. Vipaschitaha, omniscient. Iti means thus. Om, the knower of Brahma, attains the supreme. With reference to that, there is following hymn recited. And this is the hymn. Brahm is the truth. Knowledge, infinity. He who knows it as existing in the cave of the heart, in the transcendent Akash, realizes all his desires along with omniscient Brahma. We saw in the first chapter, because this is a second chapter now, basically. There are several sections in each chapter, but in the first chapter, as students, we were initiated into a series of different methods of concentrations. And when we learn how to concentrate, what happens? Our mind and intellect get integrated. That's what we get from concentration. So that this whole journey, the inward journey, the spiritual journey, becomes easier. With a scattered mind, you cannot get anywhere. Because these heights in spirituality are so subtle. We got to learn how to keep our mind at one place. So that's why daily concentration, daily meditation is extremely important for a student who wants to reach to those heights. So the first chapter was almost like a preparation. This instrument of ours, which are mind and the intellect, the teacher initiated the students into the great operation of the self-discovery. That's what we saw. So this chapter opens up with the declaration of the goal. The knower of the Brahma reaches the supreme. So knower of the Brahma. So this is like a declaration of the truth. But this declaration cannot be satisfactory because it does not say anything about the goal. It only says knower of the Brahma reaches the supreme. The similar kind of assertions we see in the other Upanishads also. Mundak Upanishads, we saw, he who knows Brahma becomes Brahma. Sometimes we misunderstand these assertions. It's almost like a knower of a table doesn't become a table. Or knower of somebody else's wealth, you don't become wealthy. How can we become the knower of the becomes the Brahma? So that's why these Upanishads are not supposed to be just to read superficially. Literal meaning of the words sometimes take us away. Because words have been borrowed from a language which is very finite. The meaning is pretty higher, special purpose of indication is given in the meanings. And that is infinite. So that's why this word knowing here is not meant in the sense in which we generally know things of the world. Because a knower is always different from the known and the knowledge. So here the word know is used in the sense of realize or discover. Remember that. So when the Guru has declared in one statement the goal of life, he adds, in that sense is the following hymn recited. So this hymn is from the Vedas. And over there we have three words, indicative meaning with these three words. Satyam, see three words, Satyam, Jnanam, and Anantam. Those are the three words we got to understand. Satyam. Generally, Satya is translated as truth. But in the Vedas, what Satya really means, that which is changeless. Changeless substratum for all the changes and modifications. That is Satya. In the past, in the present, and in the future also, which does not change, that is Satya. So ultimately, the real substratum comes to be discovered when we discover the essence. Almost like if we look at the pot can be broken, but the clay which was used to make the pot, that is Satya in that sense. From that clay, you can make a jug also, a pot also, a mug also, or anything else also. So before it was made, it was a clay. When it was made into that form, it was still a clay. When you break it down, it is still a clay. The Satya is the clay. So in the past, present, and the future, in the life of polarity, we are watching an endless varieties of change. Time changes, seasons change, individuals keep on changing. Our body, mind, intellect, they constantly are changing. Nothing is permanent, even for a moment. Continuous state of a flux. There is something which does not change. That is Satya. And we need to experience that. And that Satya is Brahma. That factor which is immutable, upon which the finite changes are possible, is Satya. Got to experience that. Then he says Jnanam. Generally, when we look at the Jnana, we translate that as a knowledge. And knowledge is of two kinds: unconditioned knowledge and conditioned knowledge. We generally experience in the world only the knowledge of the things. That means that knowledge is conditioned by the things we know. These conditioned knowledge bits change from place to place, from time to time. It's almost like when we put Ganga water into different shapes of bottles. What are we looking at? Only the bottles or the different colored bottles. But that doesn't mean that Ganga water has changed the shape. So the Jnanam indicates this absolute knowledge which illuminates for us the objects of experience in the outer as well as the inner world. Okay, so that is a Jnanam. Just like a sunlight. Sunlight has no preference to bless this object or to bless that object. So blessing all, shining on all of them. That is Jnana. The same way the conscious principle illuminates all objects that it comes across. That is called Jnana. This consciousness in us, we have experienced in this life. That is like a spark of our life. That is the Jnana. Through that Jnana, we know everything else. And that Jnana is immutable, eternal. And that makes the changes in the body. Body changes because of that light. That is the Jnana. And then the third word he used over here for Brahm is Anantam. And it's translated as infinity. This consciousness that is the substratum of the created world may itself end one day. Sometimes this doubt comes into our mind. But to refute this idea and to show that this awareness, which is Satya, is not the effect of any other cause, is infinite in nature. That's why this term Anantam. Prakriti changes. Things look different from moment to moment, but that spark is Ananta. So even though the truth be the cause of this mutable world, But this Brahma or the Atma is the uncaused cause. It's unborn, eternal, truth, infinite, and conscious. That's what Ananta means. And how do we reach that Brahma? These terms, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, have a flavor as though they are expressing some definite qualities. But in the ordinary uses of the language, these qualities qualify the object. Okay? And who realizes this conscious principle in himself enjoys all his desires. And enjoying all his desires means no more desires. These finite desires, they end. This is what enjoying all the desires means. All at once along with Brahma. The worldly desires, they go away. You feel oneness with the Brahma. And this self is the repository of all joy. Since the pure awareness itself is bliss absolute. Because why do we have worldly joys, worldly desires? For a bliss, to be happy. But when all the desires are finished, you are infinitely happy. Infinitely. Because the commotion of the desires is a mental disturbance. We all know that. And the thicker the desire, the more powerful is the commotion. So the Rishi declaring here that all joys come from the self. Let me read it again, the literal meaning of this verse, so that we see that we understand all of it. Om, the knower of Brahma, attains the supreme. So we got to know the Brahma. With reference to that, there is following hymn recited. So he says, with the help of this hymn, understand Brahma. Brahma is the truth. So if you want to know the Brahma, the truth, the knowledge, the infinity. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. He who knows it as existing in the cave of the heart, in the transcendent Akash, realizes all his desires along with omniscient Brahma. A lot has been said in this verse. And Akash, it's not the outside Akash he's talking about the inside Akash. Reach to the highest level, the subtlest level of your personality. Akash. Where is Akash in us? What is the center of the Akash? Vishuddha Chakra. So make sure when you meditate, do not stay in the lower level. Try to transcend those and get absorbed there. Okay? So beautiful verse, try to understand it by going through it again and again. Because these verses are so deep, just literal meaning, sure we got to understand, but then look at the deeper implication of these verses too. Tasmat atman akasha sambhutah akashat vayo agni apaha adbhya prithvivyah oshdebhya annam annat purushaha. Tasmat, from that means from that Brahma. Where means verily, etasmat, which is this? Atman, Atma. Akash, space. Sambhutaha is born. Akashat, from space. Vayu, air. Vayo, from air. Agni, fire. Agne from fire, apaha water, adbhya from water, prithvi the earth, prithivya from the earth, oshdaya herbs, oshdibhya from herbs, annam food, annat from food, purushaha the person. From that, the Brahma, this Atma. So that means there's no difference between Brahma and the Atma. Space is born then. From space, the air. From air, fire. From fire, water. From water, earth. From earth, herbs. From herbs, food. And from food, a person, man. Then first, this teacher declared that the Supreme is realized by those who know Brahma. The question in the heart of the student was, what is this Brahma? That's what we saw in the last verse. The teacher defined that Brahma is truth, knowledge, and infinity. Right? Satya Jnanam Anandam. Even after listening to that, teacher must have seen on the face of the student that he is not satisfied. If there be an infinite truth, he has not been told exactly what is the truth, how to contact this truth. It's almost like if I am sick, doctor says there's some kind of a treatment for your sickness. And he just mentioned some kind of a name of that medicine, but it doesn't make sense to me. And if I'm hurting, first I'll ask, where do I take that medicine? Where do I find that medicine? Do I take that medicine with my mouth or do I rub it on my wound? Do I need to take it before breakfast or after breakfast? With water or with milk? So all those questions, they come to our mind, are physical things. And if that medicine is not even available to us, what good is that then, that knowledge? The name of the medicine written on a piece of paper is useless to us. The same thing over here. All this is written on the piece of paper. But this teacher is so compassionate. He is further describing it to us. How can we realize? How can we realize in the innermost recesses of our own personality the realms in which we can rediscover this absolute nature in us? As the supreme sky, space is inside us too. And that is exactly what is meant by this term Akash, or the cave of the heart in the previous verse. So the pure consciousness, described at first objectively and then later on indicated subjectively. And it's the same reality. The reality is all pervading, eternal. We cannot limit it. We cannot say God is here, but not there. We cannot say God is inside us, not inside you. Then it's not God. So in order to indicate that fact, that consciousness is within and without, it is a one homogeneous truth. In this particular verse, we are told, from that, which is this Atma? From that, which is this Atma. So this idea can be understood through an analogy of the outer space and the room space or a part space. Space is a subtle, all-pervading element. It cannot be limited either by the walls of the room or the material of the part. But in our gross concept, we generally identify the space as inside the four walls of the room, or we say that it's inside the part. But we all know, when we think about it, space is homogeneous. It's one and the same within or without. And this is, we're talking about the space which is part of the Prakriti, the subtlest part of the Prakriti. But over here, he's telling us about the Brahm and the Atma, the same. We got to take our mind towards that. Space being homogeneous is one and the same within and without. So the same way, we got to remember the cause of the space. Who caused the space? Because that is subtler than the space itself. Only the subtler can create the grosser. Then the subtler is what? The reality. It is one without a second, both within and without. To every real seeker of truth, there is a period in his or her intellectual quest when he comes to wonder about it and feels bewildered. Why and how of the universe? Where did it come from? Where was it before and where will it go? And this is the doubt, or this is the question answered thoroughly by the teacher in this verse. Teacher is giving a full explanation, which at the mental level we can understand right now. How the creation is, how the creation first came into being. It can give us a sense of satisfaction. And this is what rishis of the Upanishad are giving it to us. The knowledge. He's narrating the story of how the five great elements have an unbroken sequence emerged out of the Supreme. There's five elements. He says, first of all, the subtlest of the five elements, Akash. Space emerged from the truth. And from it, a grosser element, the air, came out. And more grosser, fire, came from air. And a still more grosser element, water, manifested itself from fire. And the series ended with the grossest manifestation, the element earth. So from the subtlest, which is Brahma, came the next, then the next, then the next, then the grossest earth. These five elements have been accepted as the fundamentalist in the manifested world of matter by almost all the philosophies and the philosophers, or even the scientists in this world. These five elements. These five elements are arranged in their order according to their relative subtlety. And this subtlety is measured in the terms of their qualities. Akash, or the space considered to be the subtlest, has only one quality. So the subtlest has one quality. And what is that quality? Sound. Sound cannot travel without the space element. And we know Sound cannot be created where there is no space. Air has the quality, the next one is air. Air has the quality of sound and also a special quality of touch. And to that degree, air is considered grosser than the space, the Akash. Fire has all the qualities of space and air, but apart from its own quality of a form also. So it has three qualities. Then water, besides the qualities of all the previous ones, sound, touch, and form, has its own special quality of taste. And earth, the grossest of the lot, has all the four qualities described above, and then his own specific quality of smell. So that's how we find that the great elements, each representing one or the other of the sense objects. That's how our cognition works. Through our sense organs are described as the deities of the five sense organs. Akash in the ears, because sound comes inside through the ears. So deity is our ears. Air in the skin, touch it with the skin. Fire in the eyes, water in the tongue, and earth in the nose, the smell. Then he says, from earth came the food. Out of the gross earth rose up the entire world of vegetation. Herbs, the plants, and the trees, which give us the food material to maintain our physical health and stamina throughout our life. That's why our rishis, they said the first time you feed unto the baby, remember God, thank God, do the worships, do the prayers. They associated all our different sacraments by remembering all this. These are the devatas. Let me read it again. These verses give me the goosebumps, that how beautifully they are written, how logically they are trying to explain it to us. From that which is this Atma, is space born, from Akash, air, from air, fire, from fire, water, from water, earth, from earth, herbs, from herbs, food, and from food, person. All the questions, they just get answered. But remember that our job is in this human life to connect with Brahma. That is our supreme goal. While going through all the little goals also. Little goals, take care of your body, take care of your family, pay your taxes, pay your bills. All those need to be done. But this is the supreme goal, to know where we came from, where everything came from. The substratum for everything. We need to realize it. We need to experience it as a human being. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Visheshyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much.